Yeah, hello and welcome to a new episode of our weekly Spielworxx chat. My name is Uli Blennemann, and we are having not one but two guests today, designer Daniel Newman and Phil Schmit, editor, developer, publisher. So, welcome. Daniel, how are you? I can't hear you at
Sorry,
this
I'm
moment.
good. I'm good.
Okay. I thought I lost the connection here.
Nope, I was just muted for a second. Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. So you're good. And how are you, Phil?
Yes, great.
So
Cheers.
great, and whiskey time. That is wonderful, of course. Before we start with my two guests, I would like to mention briefly two Spielworxx news items. And the first, of course, is Crescent City Cargo and Captains of the Gulf Second Edition Kickstarter. That one is now live, and please check it out. I'm posting the URL now, so let me quickly do this.
Lee, are you sure you're live? I'm not seeing it on
Really?
the.
Really? Yes, I'm live.
Okay.
Of course, we have some people.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Hi, Chris. That is the URL for the Kickstarter of Crescent City Cargo and the second edition of Captains of the Guard. So if you're interested, please check it out. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about the game or these two games, you can also look at my website under the videos or in the video section. On September 29, I had the designer Jason Dinger as my guest. So you can look it up. And personally, I was describing a few of the mechanics in early August. So on August 4, there's another video. The second news item that I'd briefly like to mention is Conworks from last Friday and Saturday. And in my opinion, at least, it was a success. I've learned a lot of things and I will change a couple of things, but in my opinion, we had wonderful guests. We made two announcements and we had a lot of active participation. Um, and my goal was to maybe at a few streams that I would have 100 visitors, but the most on Saturday was 485, and for a very tiny company like Spielworxx, that was really nice. So thank you very much. But now back to Daniel and Phil. So please give us some personal background of you first. Daniel, would you like to start?
Sure. I played games as a kid, like your mass market games, your Battleship and Clue and all that. I used to stay up late while my parents were playing Trivial Pursuit and try to play with them and their friends. Um, and then as I got older, kind of fell off of it. And then I guess around 2002 or so, somebody introduced me to Settlers of Catan,
Mm-hmm.
and that just took off. I started like a Craigslist group just to find more people to play, and then uh, one of those guys started bringing more Euros, like Puerto Rico and Power Grid, and I got really deep into Euros at that point, and then it just took off kind of from there.
Mm-hmm. And Phil, your background, are you
No,
playing games at all?
no, not anymore. No, I started as a kid. Well, actually, we played with my grandparents. Okay, that's cards and all of that. But then in my youth, we played Warhammer 40K, the tabletop games, and then we continued with Dungeons and Dragons. And then I stopped playing games for university, and at the end of my studies, I started again playing board games. Lots of Arkham Horror and the World of Warcraft board game, which was a really great title back then.
Yeah, but you see, everybody, almost everybody I know has some times where they totally stop gaming. But if you have this bug, then you normally, not everybody, of course, gets back into gaming. That's pretty natural. And by the way, if you have some questions or comments, please post them in the chat window. And I'm seeing already here a couple of familiar faces, but names. Let's put it that way. So if you have questions, For these two gentlemen, please ask questions. And there is Matt again. I'm totally spam and mention that. Yeah, well, we will go to that Kickstarter in a second here. So Daniel, what is your favorite type of games? Is it just Euros, or are you an omni gamer playing everything? Um, what are you playing?
Yeah, so I mostly play Euros. I like kind of the heavier end of things, Vitalis Artis games, Steffenfeld. I also really love trick-taking games, especially weird ones, which is something Matt Wolf and I have in common. Probably one of the only things Matt Wolf and I have in common. It's not true. And then I also like weird dexterity games I've been getting into lately. Bizarre.
Which ones are weird dexterity games? Is there a title you'd like to mention?
There was one I played, I think it was from Japan at like BGG last year or the year before. That was, I can't remember the name of it. Matt probably knows. But it's like marble bobsled or something. And you release these marbles and then blow on them to try to get them to race down these tracks. It was bizarre and totally not appropriate in this COVID atmosphere. But stacking games I like. And I don't know. Yeah, it's also kind of weird stuff.
And Phil, what is your favorite type of games? Or do you have a favorite type?
My favorite type of game is the games that are very, very heavy and historical, and Uli has to explain the rules.
Yeah,
those are my favorite
games. And then Phil, during my explanation, falls asleep. So I can attest on that. And Matt has a title, Marble Boplay? No. Matt, sorry, you can't post a link here. So I'm sorry for that. This is for spam reasons. And of course, this is true for Matt as well here. But Daniel, you also have a Kickstarter today, or starting today. Please give us some details on that.
Sure. So it's called the Science and Seance Society. It is a 2-player asymmetric game where you're both members of the Victorian Secret Society, tasked with unraveling the mysteries of the universe. And a nasty bit of chaos has been unleashed, and you're both trying your different methods to get it back under control. So one player is arranging a tableau of tarot-sized cards in a certain order, and they have abilities that you can manipulate those cards. And then the other player is rolling dice and placing them kind of like in Roll For It, like you're matching symbols on the cards for the dice. And it's really a race to see who can get theirs done first. And both players have an opportunity to interfere with each other and slow each other down. Which makes it interesting because the more you play, the better you get at it, and the longer the game becomes rather than the quicker, because you're able to kind of get each other's way more.
And how do you market the game? Did you give this design to another company? Did you form a company? How do you do this, Daniel?
So my friend Tony Miller and I, Bearded Rogue on Twitter, decided that we had a few games that we had shopped around to publishers, and for one reason or another, they just didn't land with them, and nobody picked them up. But we felt really strongly about these games, and we wanted to put them out on our own. So we're taking a very kind of what we're calling a punk rock approach, and doing very small print run. We're using print-on-demand suppliers so we can get quick turnarounds. It does have some limitations in that our price is a bit higher than might be expected because it's so small run. Like success for us is if we can get 200 or 300 copies done, and shipping to other countries is not really possible.
Why isn't it possible? Because I wanted to back the game on Kickstarter a couple of minutes ago, couldn't because it's shipping to the United States. Do you have another solution, or are you just saying, yeah, well, this is the nature of our limited business? Both is fine with me, so everything is cool.
For the most part, we're saying we can't really do it. I mean, if somebody really wanted a copy sent to Europe, the shipping is $40, and we're charging $30 for the game. So if somebody wants to spend $70 on this 2-player 30-minute card game, I mean, we could work it out. But we're not really offering it as a level just because it doesn't make sense for most people. We have set up Canadian shipping, and we're subsidizing the cost of that a little bit. Because we don't expect a ton of people to go that route. So that is an option. And then we also just made a print and play level available, so you can get like the cards and the rule book and the screen. You would have to provide your own dice and bag and tokens, but that's another option for European interest.
But this sounds very good. So for all Europeans who are interested in this game, you can either contact me, so I will forward your mail to Daniel if you really want to have it shipped over to Europe for $40. And otherwise, please check out the Kickstarter page because there is also a P&P option. And so if this is something that you like, please check out this very cool game. And if you take a look at the graphics on the page, you see there is something in there. So I wish
Thank
you and your partner a lot of luck with it, and hopefully
Thanks.
a lot of more games under that label, Daniel.
Yeah, if this goes well, we have another planned for the spring, but it kind of depends on how this does. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, but the start when I looked was very promising. So I think you will do greatly here.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it will happen. But Phil, Daniel, I'm having you together here today because you are doing a game project together. And I loved it very much, Daniel, when you were saying a few minutes ago this is more a punk rock approach because Watch, the game that we are talking about today, is published by Spielworxx. So we are back to punk rock, and this is Phil's company, Spielworxx. But Phil, you are not only doing Spielworxx, so how is this relationship here?
Yes, so I'm a full-time editor at PD Verlag, but on the side I have my own project which is called Spielworxx, and so Watch is the first title that I signed, and so originally we planned to release it early this year, but because of the whole COVID situation and all of that, our plans have changed.
Yeah.
And
It, it happens, but if overseas viewers do not know PD Verlag, PD Verlag is famous for example, for Concordia, so the original publisher of Concordia. And I think they had a little bit of success this year because they won Game of the Year, Spiel des Jahres in Germany with pictures. So that's a company Phil is working for. But Phil, you worked also before for Eggert Spiel, and I think your introduction was Ravensburger, or am I mistaken?
yeah,
So, although two very young people here, so with a lot of experience. But
in whiskey drinking.
and whiskey drinking, that's always important.
Yeah.
Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about the game? So about some key mechanics. So why is this game so great?
Sure. So thematically, players are working in a Russian watch factory that used to be a Soviet-era munitions factory. So they are producing gears that will be, sold off for money, and then they're also trying to smuggle out crates of munitions underneath those gears for points. There's also you can dig through the files in the foreman's office in order to gather kind of blackmail info to get points that way, and you can also spy on the other players and catch them misbehaving and kind of extract bribes from them if you're in the foreman's office. Mechanically, you are similar to the kind of action selection in Kanban. If a space is occupied, you cannot move to that space, but you can move to any other space, and then turn order goes in the direction of turn order. Like, sorry, you take turns based on where you are on the board. So yeah.
Sorry,
Getting into the
Daniel,
weeds here. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So right now I'm seeing the board here in the center. Phil, can you even enlarge it a little bit? And we have tokens at the outside. So it's a round game board, and you move in clockwise order, right? And the space where you land, where you end, that's the action you can do, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I've played the game in an earlier version, and I liked it a lot because it is mechanically really strong, but also at the same time it has a lot of flavor. And if Phil ever can enlarge the photo, the screen sharing, we could see something from the graphics because I think that the theme is really strengthened by the graphics. But yeah,
So,
this is great. So there we see watch, and there we see the smuggle space and what you can do. Any more details on the mechanics, Daniel?
One of the things that is neat is that the card in the middle of the board there changes the value of the different spaces every round. So there are times when gears are worth more money, so you may want to prioritize selling gears then. There are times when you'll get more points or produce more gears or whatever. So timing is really important, no pun intended, for when you take certain actions. Or maybe pun intended.
yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe it was intended. So I like the variability there, and really changes the order in which you do things. Also, what I didn't mention was every time you take an action on the player boards, if you can zoom into the player boards,
So I have a little technical issue that
okay.
my Mac
Well,
is not showing me what my cursor, so I cannot really do something because I
okay.
have much running on
But
the.
every time you take an action, you're basically upgrading that action for the next time you do it, and you're also locking in scoring potential for the end of the game.
I'm trying to have this moving again, and give me a second, but it's a bit overloaded here. So
I can show in the meantime the cover, which I like also very much. So let me bring this up here. Can you see this now? So I think this is really nice.
Yeah, it's the cover.
And yeah, and in a way, it shows very nicely also what the game is all about because you are in this watch factory, but you're also spying. So the title is also nice here, watch, and yeah.
oh, it's really not working. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah, that's
my
okay.
my Mac is
That's
not
okay.
working.
And for a second, I would like to go to the chat window because Nick, hello Nick, and Matt, they are talking about shipping costs here. So we are back to the Kickstarter, and only from my perspective, I can say right now it's crazy. So because I'm normally shipping by DHL from Germany to the US or to Australia, but right now. Uh, DHL is shipping only premium COVID regulations. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure why this is better in COVID times, but it means normally for, let's say, a little bit over 2 kilos parcel to the US, I'm paying 32, 34 euros, and now it's more than 50. So, yeah, shipping is very expensive these days.
And we'll
Yeah.
keep looking into it. We might be able to find another way to do it, but
Yeah.
right now I don't know. It's not looking good.
Yeah, and you see that others are also saying here that the cover is very good. So I really like it. So some basics on the game, Philip. Gameplay, number of players, playing time, and what has attracted you to the game?
Yes, so I really like the vision of this game of being a Soviet style propaganda themed game, and you are working in this factory which has a dark history, and you are still working in that, and trying to smuggle munition out, which is only tinily hinted at in the game. It's not obvious. It's just well, we tell you at some point in the rules, and yeah, you get this little the feeling of being watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Also,
so
pun
so
intended.
is it 2 to 4 players? Is it 3 to 4 players? 3 to 5? 2 to 4?
No,
It's
it's
true.
1 to 4
One
players.
to play four, so you can
Yes,
even play it solitaire. So that's
yes.
another great option. Or is it more a 30 minutes game or a 3 hours game? So what is the typical play time?
It's about an hour playing time, And yeah, so it's a short strategy game.
Yeah,
It's called.
so it's a little bit above in Germany for German complexity level. Is it a little bit above family type? So is it a typical Kennerspiel, or how would you
Yes, I would say it is. It is a very moderate Kennerspiel.
mhm.
It's not too tricky. It's the things that you do that bring complexity in the game.
Yeah.
So it's really it's easy, but in on to understand the game, to play it. But what you can do is interesting.
Yeah, like when in my use, so a couple of decades before, when I still bought Avalon Hill type games, and they often had this sentence on the back of the box: easy to learn but hard to, or tough to command, or tough to manage, so whatever. So, and I think, but here really, I think this is the correct line for the game, because the rules are pretty short, and you are very quickly in the game. So that is great. But how will you market the game, Phil? So is it another Kickstarter? So, or yeah, but please tell us a little bit about it, and not and directly connected to it. When will it be out? So not only how, but also when.
So the good thing is you can play it at this Essen Spiel Digital on Tabletopia, but you have to go to the PD Verlag page for it, because the game will be released as a PD Verlag game next year.
Mm-hmm.
Will probably be for Essen, but yeah, as we will look, depending on the situation with COVID, if it can be released earlier or later, but it should be there for Essen next year. But you can play it on the Spiel Digital this year if you visit the PD Verlag page.
So this is only about 10 days, Spiel Digital. So you can play it on Tabletopia if you have thinner fingers than these ones, then you can handle it. I still loved it when Daniel and I were using not Tabletopia, but it's somewhat similar,
Tabletop
tabletop
simulator,
simulator,
yeah.
and I was knocking everything over. So that was
I
quite
There's a
an
lot of
experience.
swearing.
It was, but it was a great thing. So watch on Tabletopia in just a few days at Spiel Digital, but please do not look for Spielpunks, look for PD Verlag, and it should be out 1 year from now. So, and this will mean standard distribution, because PD Verlag
Yeah.
is in general distribution.
Okay.
And Daniel, is it just an English language version, or is it English German, or how will this be handled?
You asking me or Phil?
I'm asking you now, because Phil is,
I don't
is talking
I
too
don't know
much.
about the translations. As far as
It,
I know, it's just English. Are you doing a German rulebook as well?
it's going to be a German English
Yeah.
version.
So
Okay.
some news for you as well, Daniel. So it's
That's
a
good.
dual
That's good.
Anglo-German edition,
I'm
and
learning I'm learning things from this Twitch stream too. It's good.
Hopefully, with this too.
and by the way, Daniel here. So you see, some people are multitaskers, and Daniel is not only here live, but he's also posting, and he has a correct line, of course. Easy to learn, tough to master. That's what watch is. So yes. And we see more comments on the graphics here from Claude. Claude, good to see you. That it really looks nice. So this is wonderful to hear. Anything that you'd like to add on this? No, let me of course add something. Because as we all know, PD Verlag had pictures and Game of the Year this year. So PD Verlag has already another Game of the Year, probably Kennerspiel des Jahres than next year. Correct? This is this is what it is, huh?
Well, you never know, but don't get up your high hopes.
Yeah. Well, actually, if it's only out for Essen next year, it would be Kennerspiel 22. So no, it can't be next year. Yeah, we'll.
Except there will be a new or a second happening of communism. No chance the game will be the Kennerspiel.
Yeah, well, I really hope to, and now we go to the 2 or 3 minutes of politics. I really hope that capitalism, if not torn down, then at least it will change drastically. I have my doubts, but one thing I'm absolutely sure: socialism is dead for whatever reasons. But we'll see. We'll see. Politics
Yeah.
segment closed. Getting back to gaming. We have a command there. I love my play of Watch at Unpub. So okay, so tight and good. Can't wait to see it come out next year. So thank you very much for this comment. This sounds great. Phil, PD Verlag, because they have normally worldwide web of partners. Do you think there will be also other language edition? Is this a possibility? And there's live Asmodeus calling here. My phone is. They wanna probably buy Spielworxx. So please talk.
Yeah. I think the chance is there that other partners can pick up the game and that we can have a release in multiple languages. But that's not given at the moment. So let's hope for the best that some partners wants to pick Watch up, but there are no news confirmed on that.
Yeah,
But it's possible. It's
yeah, and it's still. By the way, this wasn't Asmodea, unfortunately. I'm always sitting here at the phone, so and hoping that they will purchase Spielworxx, but no luck. So I see all. I'm following the news and which companies are bought, which distributors now, retailers are bought, and well, no luck. It's not
let me
going. It's not going to happen. But on the other hand, from their point of view, why should they? So.
Uli,
Um,
let me tell you, if you have the game of the year in Germany, they will try to contact you in every possible way they have. You will be contacted over Twitter, over Twitch, over YouTube. They want to talk to you.
Yeah, well,
That's for sure.
and as the people in the chat are saying, Matt is saying he's still loopy from Conworks a little bit. So yeah, well, but why mute this? This is all can go out. But Conworks was wonderful, as I said initially, but 19.5 hours in 1.5 days was maybe a little bit too much, but we'll see. It was a great thing. But another good thing, getting back to Watch, of course, is, in my opinion, that you have this 1 year from Tabletopia to the release of the game, and of course that almost all of the graphics are already done. So if you want to tweak a couple of mechanics, if people on Tabletopia, if playtesters see maybe spot a couple of things, because everybody knows it, you can test the game as hard as you ever want. As soon as it's getting outside to the outside people, suddenly you have a magnitude of 100 or of 1,000 of games being played, and so sometimes something comes up that you simply do not see or realize. This I think is a good thing, especially in these times. And actually, we have so many releases coming up that a little bit of waiting is all good. So Daniel, you are excited about this, or how do you see this? Yeah.
No, I'm very excited. This is a game that I worked on for quite a while, and it's going to be really cool to see it done. And I think Phil's doing a great job, with the final development and the getting the graphic design and the art together. So it's no, it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited.
Very good. Do you have any questions here? This is the most excitement Daniel ever shows.
It's true.
So
That's
there's
good.
another question. Do you already know what US distribution will be, or is this too early?
I don't know. Our normal partner in the US is Rio Grande Games, but they haven't seen the game, and it's not. We have not talked about it yet because it has a year to go, and
Still too early. Yeah.
but
And
it's a possibility. But we haven't talked about it.
okay, it's a little bit early. And we see another follow-up comment. It's the most excitement, Matt said, but Daniel is also ecstatic right now, I can tell. Yeah, well, well, that's good. So everybody has their own way to handle emotions or not emotions. So that's absolutely fantastic. And so, if you don't have any questions, we are running here for 31 minutes. But before we close, I would definitely again mention the Kickstarter that Daniel and partner have or that has started today. So please check it out. Daniel, can you please again mention the title while I'm putting in the URL again?
Yep, it's called the Science and Seance Society. And I think even if you just search for like Science Society on Kickstarter, you should be able to find it. There aren't that many.
Yeah, please
Should be
please
easy.
check it out.
Oh, and you got the
So
link there, so it should
yeah,
be good.
I sent I put in the link, so I put it in earlier. So lots of success with this Kickstarter, and both of you,
Thank you.
lots of the success with this game. So I think the game, because I played it personally, is really a great one, and I wish Spielpunks and Phil also a lot of luck with the company, because these days lots of games are out. COVID times, it's not easy to succeed in this market. So, but I think Watch is a great initial project here. Huh? Okay,
Thanks, Uli.
okay.
Appreciate that.
So,
Thank
wonderful. And if you have, next week, I'm having a guest again in the show, in the episode of the Spielworxx chat. If you would like to ask a question in advance that I'm bringing up in the next episode, or if you would like to see a special topic mentioned by me, please drop me a mail at uli@spielworxx.de. That is uli@spielworxx.de. And see, this time I remembered again my own mail address. I forgot about this also, even here live, so it can happen. So please get in touch, and till then, bleibt gesund, and of course, Black Lives Matter. Bye bye. Bye.